It's movie time!
WC Fritos here with a free offer. And specially marked 6 packs of Fritos brand corn chips. An autographed poster of WC Fritos. Ah, yes. Hang it in an appropriate place of honor, like over your frog collection.
You can get your free WC Fritos poster in specially marked 6-packs of Fritos corn chips.
Yes, indeed.
For a limited time only.
Hi, this is Greg Turkington. I have an apology for the On Cinema family. I did not see Sully. I have seen it since, but when it originally came out, I mistakenly thought it was a documentary, not a movie, and so I didn't go. And I owe you an apology for saying otherwise, and I have seen it since then. Sorry, thank you. Sorry to Tim.
Roll camera! This is a great movie. You're not going to regret it.
Time to get serious about movies.
It's your front row seat to Hollywood's best movies here on Cinema at the Cinema. Hey folks, I am feeling fine because it is season 9 of On Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker. And welcome back to On Cinema, where we review movies, basically, new movies. And my guest is Greg Turkington, who I've had on the show before. Hold on, who I've had on the show before.
Hey guys, glad to be here for another season of sharing my cinema insight and expertise on movies old and new.
And it's good to be back. I've had a sort of a incredible roller coaster ride recovery from the fire. Basically, it was a miracle that I lived, and it was a miracle about how quickly I recovered, actually.
And how quickly people sent in videotapes to help replace my collection, which was also destroyed in the fire.
The point I wanted to make was we had a bit of a 2 steps forward, 1 step back scenario with my face, because the topical antibiotic I was given to use did affect my mood and stomach issues as well. So I sort of lapsed in the application of that ointment, and that led to a pretty bad infection. So the skin on my face, the doctors are saying, is dying. But the good news is that's put me sort of at the top of the list for a skin transplant, which will be happening shortly, hopefully. So we're in a little bit of pain today, which is why this has come in handy again and again, because it takes the pain away. Beautiful. All right. Also want to say goodbye to Victorville and the Victorville Film Center, of which I'm no longer. We're no longer shooting the show there. We're back in Hollywood.
We're not shooting the show there, but we're still screening movies there, and actually been doubling our numbers as far as attendance the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. But I actually wanted to bring that up because we are now here in sort of my dream. This is sort of my laboratory for a new cinema concept that I've been working on. Called the Six-Bag Cinemas.
You should call it the small screen cinemas, because the screen is the smallest I've ever seen.
Well, this is just like I said, it's a proof of concept. It's not to scale or anything, but this has been my dream now. We combine basically fine dining, high concept food with the cinema experience, the cinema watching experience, kind of a brand new concept coming out of me. And
we don't really go together.
No, dinner and a movie and these kind of things.
Well, you have dinner before the movie, and then you come to the movie, and then you could focus on the movie instead of being interrupted by the waiter.
Well, I've worked very closely with the great chef John Lennard, who you guys probably know, and he's designed an amazing menu. So over the course of this season, we're going to be giving you guys just a little bit of taste of what Six-Bag Cinemas can be, and it'll be a potential franchise opportunity for anybody interested out there who wants to get into the business of running a restaurant and a movie theater. And
it's more like a restaurant with a TV screen in the corner of the room.
All right, but enough of that. By the way, download DKR. Don't be the last person on the planet. DKR's Empty Bottle 2.0 still available for download. It's actually on 1 million downloads now, so that's been a huge success, and I've become sort of the golden boy of the EDM Music Fest scene. I've been traveling all over the place. I was in Dubai last week. First time I actually flew on a private jet. It was a chartered private jet with me and DJ Flo. I'm not living in a storage facility anymore. I'm rebuilding my life from the bottom up, and it is
Because
inspiring.
you burned it down.
It should be inspiring to everybody out there. Let's get into the movies, though. That's why you guys have joined us.
Let's.
But before we do, let me just get my order in. I'll show you guys a little bit about the experience here. This is Mark, our waiter.
The menu is about the size of the screen.
Let me see. We had a little tasting party the other day, and it's like, I don't know how I'm going to pick. Everything is delicious.
This is cutting into the movies. Just order your food.
Chicken skewers looks good.
Just get something.
Let me get the lobster macaroni and cheese and the Belgian wheat.
Just get me a popcorn, just an extra large popcorn.
Okay, the truffle oil popcorn for...
Just the regular buttered popcorn, movie popcorn.
Greg, I have truffle. That's it.
Okay, we just have truffle oil popcorn. That's our only option there.
You're going to lose a lot of business. I don't know what truffle oil popcorn is, but I know what people like.
And let's get into it with Kong Skull Island. Watch this. Kong Skull Island with Tom Hiddleston, Brie Larson, Samuel L. Jackson. And this
Pulp
is
Fiction.
Yep, directed by Jordan Vogt Roberts. A team of explorers and soldiers travel to an uncharted island, unaware that they are entering the domain of monsters and the mythic mythic Kong. Actors Tom Hiddleston. So this is basically a King Kong movie. I loved it. I give it 5 bags of popcorn. What'd you think, Greg?
I think you're right. In its basic core, it is a King Kong movie. It's very similar to the original King Kong from 1933. It gives you the backstory of that famous gorilla, and it kind of is an unofficial tribute to Fay Wray, who would have celebrated her 110th birthday this year. Had she lived. And we're actually going to be doing a segment this year on cinema. I found out recently that Faye is buried at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery right here in town. So I'm going to go down there with a camera crew and pay our respects on film to the great Fay Wray, who passed away recently and who is the grand lady of the Kong franchise.
Not this camera crew here.
No, it'll be a smaller crew, but it's going to be part of a whole new series of segments we're doing called Gone But Not Forgotten. So I would give this movie easily 5 bags of popcorn. This is a no-brainer. This is a classic. It's King Kong. He's back with 5 bags of popcorn and a little cross similar to the headstone of Miss Fay Wray.
My only issue with it is there's no tall buildings Kong climbs up.
No, because it's a prequel. It takes place before they actually had buildings, skyscrapers like the Empire State Building, before that was even built.
Great.
And so, and also on the island where Kong was born and raised, there were no skyscrapers, so there would be no reason for that.
No, they could have added a dream sequence or something. Next up, we have Kong Skull. Okay. Oh, sorry. Next up, The Wall, starring John Cena. John Cena, directed by Doug Liman, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson and Laith Lakanini. An American sharpshooter is trapped in a standoff with an Iraqi sniper. The Wall. I loved this movie. I love any war movies, and I give it 5 bags of popcorn. I think John Cena's never been better. And what do you think?
I think it's not the first Wall movie. There was actually one in 1980 starring Bob Geldof and another in 2016 with an unknown cast. For that reason, I'm going to have to give it only 1 bag of popcorn for unoriginality in the title process.
I'll just interrupt you there for a sec. It's got a little bit of heat, just a little bit of heat.
But I will give it 4 additional bags of popcorn for originality in terms of the actual script and the direction and the acting. It's a fantastic film. You've never seen a film like this before. So that totals 5 bags of popcorn, and that's my final rating.
Well, the only wall I care about is the one we're building on the southern border to keep out the Mexicans.
And of course, in the 1980 film, you had Bob Geldof, and "We don't need no education" was the catchphrase. And I've often felt that's true. We do need education, education about some of the great stars of yesteryear, such as your Fay Wrays and your Humphrey Bogarts, who we will be featuring on another episode as we visit his grave.
Great, and finally I want to give Chef John Lennard a review. The mac and cheese, the lobster mac and cheese was delicious.
0 bags of popcorn for Lennard's truffle popcorn, which doesn't taste like popcorn at all. It tastes like a mouthful of dirt, and I will not be having it again.
Okay, well.
It's not really popcorn.
You don't have a sophisticated palate. Thank you
Well,
guys for
I do.
watching.
I have a palate for popcorn, and I happen to be quite an expert at it, and this is not popcorn. It looks like popcorn, but it sure doesn't
Thank you very
smell
much.
or taste like popcorn.
Thanks very much.
Smell that.
Yeah,
You wouldn't want to eat that.
Smells like truffle oil. I'm addicted to this stuff. Thanks very much, and we'll see you guys next week. You get the check?
I'm not paying for the pop. I'm not paying for that.
You know, I'm just saying, I'm showing them the example of how it works.
Well, the example is you get things that people eat at the. I'm not paying for that. It's just taking up so much time. I know, but I can't get into the details about these movies if you're taking up all this time talking about macaroni and cheese.
I'm giving everyone a taste. Roll camera! This is a great movie. You're not going to regret it.
Time to get serious about movies.
It's your front row seat to Hollywood's best movies here on Cinema at the Cinema. Hey folks, it's me again, Tim Heidecker, back with another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema with your host, Tim Heidecker. And I'm with my guest, Greg Turkington, who's back on the show this week.
Hey guys, good to be here. As always, we've got the latest information on the latest movies.
And I did.
They're so uncomfortable.
I did make this pledge to Greg that I wasn't going to do too much personal talk this season, and trying to stick with that. But as you guys can tell, the skin's getting worse, and we are. You can almost see. I hate to do this, gross everybody out like it's a horror movie, but you can almost see some of the skull, the cheekbone coming through, because the skin's just fallen off. So next week, we'll be able to announce the potential donors, the finalists that we're putting together. We've got a great group who I believe are the finalists for who's going to end up donating skin to bring my face back to its old natural beauty.
I thought they used, car accident victims and things like that for that.
No, it needs to be living skin. So, and by the way, I have to penalize you a little bit here. No outside food. We want to stick to
you guys
John
don't
Lennard's
have any,
menu. Respect his menu.
You don't have any popcorn on the menu.
Yes, we do. We had the truffle oil popcorn.
Well, I got sick from one bite of that, and it's not popcorn.
All right, let's get into the movies.
I just wanted to say, everybody, the Victorville Film Archive and Film Center will be closed for the next few days. We're having to do some renovations based on some black mold. I'm afraid there was an issue, and the city of Victorville came in, and this is something you really need to grab by the horns and put some of this money you keep bragging that you're making into, because there are regulations in Victorville. And I found some of the black mold on the ceilings and in the carpeting. And I'm getting letters now from a couple of the major film studios who are saying we need to pay licensing fees or they're going to shut us down. And this is all stuff that I've tried to talk to you about, but you're either out of town or I throw the letters away or you're not interested. But it really does jeopardize the future of the cinema if we can't get these issues under control. And there's so many people in town and that come from out of town to see our programs that will be very disappointed if this closure lasts much longer than it already has.
All right, well, I'll have somebody from the foundation look into it and get that cleaned up. I don't want to leave the Victorville Film Center in a lurch. If you're in Madrid this weekend, I'll be performing with DJ Stomp at the All Music was it the All
See, this would be a
Music,
good weekend for you to come back to Victorville with me and clean out this mold.
Pardon me. This weekend in Madrid, I'll be at the All Points Music Festival with DJ Flo, myself, DKR, and Manuel. So that's that. And let's get a quick order in. Is Mark around before I get into this? Let me see.
Just do this before the show if you give him the order before the show.
I'm telling you this for the
But
second
nobody
time
needs
now.
to see
Hold on.
this. Nobody wants
I'm
to
telling
see
you this for the
this.
second time. This is a demonstration of the proof of. This is a demonstration of how
You did it last week.
Well, people might not have watched last week.
Well, they can watch it online.
And I'm hungry. What did I do last week?
You had the lobster mac.
Right.
And then the 16-ounce Belgian wheat, I think. And Greg had truffle popsicle.
Which was
Right.
horrible. I don't want it again.
Let me get.
Just put your order in before we start filming. This is insane.
Any specials? No. You know what? Just let me get the Kobe sliders.
Do you want ketchup or
Do
It's
the
organic.
aioli and the truffle oil,
aioli?
and the hand cut fries, and just the Pilsner, 16 ounce, 20.
20-ounce both? Greg, what do you
I
want?
already brought my own food.
You can't bring food in. What do you want?
Thanks, Mark. All right, first up is T2. Train Spotting, starring Danny Boyle,
I hate these seats.
Danny McGregor, Johnny Lee Miller. Continuation of the Train Spotting saga, reuniting original characters. All right, so this is a Terminator movie. This is a remake of the Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
It's a different T2.
Well, I know he's not in it. That's sort of one of the bummers.
It's a remake of Train Spotting. It's called T2.
I thought the old Terminator comes back from.
That was T2 Terminator. This is T2 Train Spotting.
Okay.
There's lots of movies that have 2 in the titles.
But it's not a remake then.
It's not a remake of the Terminator movies. It's a sequel of Train Spotting.
That's what I was wondering when
T2 could be the name of a platform at a train station or something from a train schedule. It doesn't necessarily have to do with Terminator.
No, I know, but I just.
Could be the name of a train. Catch the T2 to London or whatever.
I was waiting for Arnold to come in from the future.
He's not in it.
And
It's the same guys from the first Train Spotting, which was a great movie about the horrors of drug addiction, which is something that I'm familiar with from working on this show.
All right. Anyway, I give it 5 bags either way. 5 bags of popcorn for T2.
I'm going to give it T5 bags of popcorn, sort of as a tip of the hat to the title of the movie, T2.
All right, our next movie is The Belko Experiment, starring Greg McLean with actor Andrea Arginano, Josh Brender, Tony Goldwyn. In a twisted social experiment, 80s Americans are locked in their high-rise offices in Bogota and ordered by an unseen voice to take part in a game of kill or be killed. Thank you very much. Put it on the table. Put it on the table. All right. What did you think of the Bogota experiment, buddy?
If it's an experiment, it's a success, and it's a type of experiment that I hope they repeat in film laboratories all over the world. This is a type of movie we need more of. It's a thriller. It takes place in a tall building, and that is frightening
I used to have
in
a
itself. But
pardon
then
me.
you bring in
Pardon
the
me.
terrorists
I used to have such an aversion to
to heights.
beef.
Oh,
It
to
always
heights.
gave me
I was
diarrhea.
gonna say because of the movie.
Ever since I'd gone Kobe, I only do Kobe beef, and now it
Yeah, I
flows
don't-
right through.
this is-
in a
This
in a
is another
positive way.
show.
Sorry, Mark. Come here. I want the aioli truffle oil, not the ketchup. Come on.
I think this is the kind of movie that if he had lived, Hitchcock would have enjoyed directing. It's very frightening, and when you bring in a team of terrorists in a high-rise building, anything can happen. So I will give the Belko Experiment 5 bags of popcorn and 2 test tubes, each one filled with a little bit of that movie magic.
Okay. All right. I'll keep that. Yeah, keep that. Put it here. All right, before we go, I just want to pay tribute to, everyone's been asking me to do this, pay tribute to our wonderful chef, Chef John Leonard. John, you want to come out here quick and just, he's not really camera ready, but what's up, boss?
Hey.
What's up? You know Greg? Have you met Greg yet?
No, I know. Hey.
I passed him when I was microwaving my popcorn.
So, you know, it's great having you on board. The food has been amazing. I'm just loving everything I've had so far. We did that tasting party the other day, which is awesome.
This could be a time for a popcorn classic instead of talking to this guy who knows nothing about movies.
Well, I just had the sliders. They were out of this world. Fries were great. You know, I was telling everybody, you know, I always had, my stomach never agreed with beef, and I always had trouble eating steaks and hamburgers and everything. And I would get diarrhea. And now that I've turned over to Kobe, it's like, it's just so much easier on the digestive system, but it tastes better too. So tell us a little bit about your background, your inspiration, how you came up with this menu.
Well, I went to Cordon Bleu.
It's basically the best food school in the world.
Not a film school.
And I met him actually at the 4 Points by the airport in the Tulsa, what is it, the Oklahoma City airport. I was down there for the Shine Music Festival, big EDM fest. And I had his food. I mean, you were cooking in that kitchen there, and it was like it was the best piece of fish I ever had. And so I was like, I got to meet the chef. And I met you, and we kind of hung out all night. And now you're here.
Yeah, yeah.
What is your favorite menu? If you had to pick one on the menu that you're just like so proud of, what would it be?
Definitely the popcorn shrimp.
Yeah, it's got like a little bit of a Cajun kick to it, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think the big thing for me, this sort of revelation for me has been that truffle oil you're putting on everything. And that stuff's nuts. What is
It's a
it?
revelation for me too. It's horrible.
It's basically mushrooms that only pigs can smell. And so these pigs, it's unbelievable.
Sniffing around the dump and they find these things?
No.
That's where I threw my bowl of truffle popcorn.
I'm not like a mushroom guy. I don't like a lot of mushrooms with a lot of vegetables and stuff.
Well, not in popcorn.
But this adds just a little bit of extra. It's on the fries, it's on the burgers, it's on everything. And the popcorn.
Where it doesn't belong.
So anyways,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. And
Back to your microwave.
Yeah. See y'all later.
all right, we'll see you next week on Cinema.
Why don't you just do a separate show for this cooking crap so we can talk about movies? We haven't had any popcorn classics.
You did the Belko Experiment. You went on and on about the Belko Experiment. I was going to see that shit. Roll camera! This is a great movie. You're not going to regret it.
Time to get serious about movies.
It's your front row seat to Hollywood's best movies here on Cinema at the Cinema. Wow. Hey everybody, welcome back to Six Bag Cinemas, live from Six Bag Cinemas. It's Tim Heidecker's on Cinema at the Cinema. And apologies for the coughing there. I am medicating my pain right now. Obviously, I'm going through a lot with the skin is now turning into what they're saying is kind of gangrene scenario where it's starting to just completely spread. The dead cells are rotting, and woke up this morning to the smell of my own dead flesh on my face, which nearly made me pass out from just the scent, not even the pain. Let me welcome my guest today real quick, Greg Turkington.
Hey
And
guys.
we'll get an update from him on what's going on in Victorville. First off, I do want to talk quickly about the skin transplant, which is mere weeks away. We have it scheduled, and we are, I want to announce, this is everyone's dying to know, who the semifinalists are for the skin donation. Who are the semi-finalist donors? people we're looking at right now. We have Mark Proch, John Aprea from Dekkar, General Cotter, Joe Estevez, also from Dekkar, who plays the President, Davidson, and Manuel from Dekkar, and Axiom from DKR and Dekkar. So those are our semifinalists, and you guys can go online and vote for who you think is going to be in the semifinals, which will be announced next week. Find out who is going to be the lucky man to donate their skin to make my face back to its beautiful old self. I cannot wait because I'm not able to go on like this too much longer. And I'm running a high fever too, which is makes me feel like, you know, you just feel down, feel like low energy. And the doctors are begging me just to stay home, but I know I want to get this intel out to you guys. What's the news from Victorville?
You know what it is.
Well, why don't you let everyone know? We had some more bad news hit the Victorville scene.
Somebody burned down the theater.
Somebody burned down the theater. Apparently there was a fire potentially caused by bad wiring. The old VCR, the old VCR that you had hooked up potentially wasn't grounded. They say potentially.
No, it was grounded.
But that theater's now done. Let's retire the film center in Victorville. I know it's been a tough week for you, so we're looking forward to maybe you spending a little more time here at the Six Bag Cinemas, where you're always welcome.
No.
All right, well, let's, can I get an order in? I've got to eat. Let me see. Last week we had Chef John Lennard out here really pushing for the popcorn shrimp, so I'm going to try that. And let me get something else. Let me just get the homemade flatbread with truffle oil.
And to drink?
I'll just do the Pilsner again. By the way, Mark, how do you feel about being on that semifinal list?
I didn't know I was going to be, and so I'm a little weary of it, frankly, because I don't know what it entails.
Well, it's just obviously donating a small portion of your skin, which will be used to repair my face.
But I don't want.
Basically, there's a line out the door of people that are looking to do that, and just I think it should be something you embrace and are excited about, that you have the opportunity to help me in this very serious way.
But what am I going to do with my face skin?
That's not coming from your face. It comes from a different part of your body. I don't know why you're not more
Because
excited about
I
that.
didn't ask to do it.
Okay. Let's get into the movies. Chips, directed by Dax Shepard, starring Dax Shepard, Michael Pena, and Jessica McNamee. The adventures of two California Highway Patrol motorcycle officers as they make their rounds on the freeways of LA. This is Chips. It's based on a TV show, and it's basically two motorcycle cops, and it's very funny, and it's one of my favorite movies of the year. So 5 bags of popcorn for Chips, and 2 bags of soda as well. What was your review of Chips?
Just sick of people saying it's a remake of Chips, because the original was a TV show, and it's not a remake of a TV show, it's a movie, which is a completely different thing. So there was no Chips movie, so it's not a remake. It's just its own thing. So 5 bags of popcorn.
Great. Good stuff. Chips. And Power Rangers, directed by Dean Israelite. Bryan Cranston, Elizabeth Banks, Bill Hader and Naomi Scott, a group of high school kids who are infused with unique superpowers, harness their abilities to save the world. Power Rangers. This was another remake of a great TV show for kids.
It's not a remake because there wasn't a Power Rangers movie. It was a TV show, so it's not a remake.
I'm sure they're
A remake is if you have a movie like King Kong and then you make another movie. That's a remake. If you're making something from a TV show, it's not a remake.
Well, that's splitting hairs. I love this movie. It's a five-bagger, easy, maybe an Oscar pick. If the Academy starts recognizing superhero movies, which they refuse to do, but this might be the thing that pushes them over the edge because of Bryan Cranston, who's known for doing Academy Award-winning movies. You'll see him win Best Actor, I believe, for his work on Power Rangers this year. Thank you. I'm starving. You're all right? You want to put it down? I don't know why you don't understand the concept of a table where the
I've
food
never
goes.
waited before.
Where's the cutlery?
I'll be right back. Sorry.
What was your thoughts on Power Rangers?
I
Let me ask you this. I mean, just be honest. Are you in the right space mentally to have a fair opinion on the movie?
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw it in Victorville actually when I went to tour the site of what's left of the theater. Obviously, the foundation is there and the brick is there. A lot of the seats and things have melted. I mean, the movies are gone. I did find one of your stupid scarves.
Couldn't have been mine. Probably somebody else's. So I haven't been in that area now for 3-4 weeks.
It has like a stupid zebra print or something. I don't know.
Could be somebody else's. All right. So
What
we'll
was
drop
yours?
that. These are kind of just, you can pop them in, but I'm not going to. And this is the truffle oil aioli, by the way, which is. That's crisp and spicy. It's too spicy. Fuck. Hey. It's really too spicy. Way too much spice on that.
Do you want me to tell him?
I don't. I'll just have just have this.
So you don't? Okay.
God. What are you doing? Turn the lights on. We need to do a popcorn classic.
Yeah, this is
Here's your cutlery.
I don't need the cutlery
now.
anymore.
This is essentially all
This
that.
is- I
This
use
is
my
the
hands on
Victorville
this.
Film Archive because this is
But
all,
you asked for
Put it
cutlery.
down.
Was it for the shrimp?
The cutlery was for the shrimp,
Oh.
which was too hot for me.
Do you want it back?
What?
this was the only film that this was in my car, so this is the VFA now.
A Vow to Kill.
It's a great film. Richard Grieco is one of my favorites, and Julianne Phillips, 1994, directed by Harry Longstreet. It's about a honeymoon gone wrong, kind of the honeymoon from hell. It's something to see. It's not A View to a Kill. That's James Bond. This is A Vow to a Kill, or Vow to Kill, and I'll be watching it a lot because it's the only one I have until I can get some more. But
All right, stay tuned. Next week we'll be announcing the finalists for the skin donation, and more movies. See you next time. What's the TRT on that? Your red tape is covering up the rating and the TRT, so I have no idea. Power Pictures Corporation. This looks pretty good. Roll camera! This is a great movie. You're not going to regret it.
Time to get serious about movies.
It's your front row seat to Hollywood's best movies here on Cinema at the Cinema. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker, and joining me as has been the past a few episodes is Greg Turkington.
Hey guys, welcome to On Cinema at the Cinema, the show where we share movie expertise and expert opinions.
Thank you, Greg. And we are a big episode today because we will be announcing the finalists for the skin donor program. And can't come a day too soon because it's getting worse and worse, and begging the doctors to speed things up. Just sit.
Seats are really uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable. They're very comfortable. It's the opposite of.
No, they're not comfortable.
They're called leisure seats for a reason. I'm enjoying sitting in these seats.
Well, I'm not.
Just recline a little bit. Put a little good. It's got
That's
lumbar
even
support.
worse.
You press the button.
It's just like the interior of the cushion, like the spring is poking up or something.
No.
And
These
it's
are
just
brand new.
lumpy.
So later in the show, stick
Can't
around.
really watch the movie with the angles of this.
Later in the episode, stick around. We're going to be announcing.
I hate this.
All right, later in the episode, we're going to be announcing the finalists for the my facial skin donor program. Of course, we're looking at Mark Proch, John Aprea, Joey Estevez from Dekkar, President Davidson, also General Cotter from John Aprea, and Manuel and Axiom from DKR and Dekkar. So that's coming up at the end of the episode. Very excited to find out who is going to be donating some of their skin so I can bring my face back to its original state. Anything coming in from you these days?
Yeah, a little ray of sunshine. Actually, I got a call from Mark the other day, and he was going down the street in Van Nuys where he lives and saw a sign for an estate sale where the guy was actually selling his VHS collection, or his father, who passed away. His father was a big video collector, and I ended up getting over 1,000 tapes for $100, which is an incredible deal. So we're starting to rebuild
Great. Well,
the Victorville
That's
Film
great to hear.
Archive. A lot of titles in there I'd never seen before, which is unusual because I've seen most of the titles out there. But and then a lot of the classics that we need to restock.
Thank you very much for the update on the VFA.
To rebuild the archive. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
For that
By the
tip.
way, we've unfortunately had to say goodbye to Mr. John Lenard, Chef John Lenard. Just wasn't working out, and there were some issues with the, obviously the spiciness levels of that popcorn shrimp was a big problem, and some issues with cleanliness in the kitchen, and so I'm taking over
He
the
didn't wipe out the microwave with a paper towel after he cooked.
No, that's not it. I'm basically taking over the menu and head chef for now. It's not that hard. Anybody can do it. We are keeping some of the signature Lenard items, and I'm going to be retooling it over the next few weeks. I'm definitely keeping the sliders and the
Get the
paella.
regular popcorn so I don't have to keep bringing in my own bags and microwave.
I told you to keep your popcorn out of my theater. That's your second warning. Anyways, all the best to John Lenard. Let me do the chicken skewers, the peanut sauce, and side of truffle oil, and a glass of the red wine.
I want another one of these, whatever the
white
white
wine?
wine, yeah.
You got it.
Well, take his glass. We don't.
You can leave
I
it
was
here.
going to get him a new one.
Well, but take it. He's done, so take the glass. I have to find another waiter now.
It doesn't matter if the glass is sitting there.
All right, let's get into the movies. The Boss Baby, directed by Hendel Butoy, starring Tom McGrath, and directed by Tom McGrath. Just have one director. You don't need two directors. Actor Miles Christopher Bakshi, the great Alec Baldwin, Eric Bell Jr., and Jimmy Kimmel. A suit-wearing, briefcase-carrying baby teams up with his 7-year-old brother to stop an evil plot by the CEO of Puppy Company. And this is the Boss Baby. And it was great to see Jimmy Kimmel do his thing.
Well, here, you don't really see it, you hear it.
Ah, yes, this is a cartoon. And that's my 5 bags of popcorn on that, on Boss Baby.
I liked it. I mean, it's very much in the vein of the Peanuts movie, which we reviewed last season. It's something that kids would like.
Speaking
because
of
they're
peanuts,
kids
by the way.
characters.
Speaking
but
of
then
peanuts,
also there's
this
something.
chicken skewers has a beautiful peanut sauce, almost like a Thai inspired, that I am definitely. Just put it on the damn table. Yes, and that goes on the table too. Not that complicated.
Oh, sorry, Greg. Sorry.
This is why you don't need waiters in movie theaters. If people buy the stuff at the concession stand, they're not going to be tripping over people during the movie.
What's your rating on Boss Baby?
I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn. I actually really loved it. It was just what I needed. Very, very funny movie.
Oh. Mark, ice cold.
Huh?
It's ice fucking cold.
I added in the thing
What do you put it in for?
for 30.
Leave the wine. That's nice. Great. Zookeeper's Wife, directed by Nikki Caro, acted by Jessica Chastain, Daniel Bruhu, Johan Heldenberg. Tells the account of the wars Sao Zhu helped save hundreds of people and animals during the Nazi invasion. Whoa, where are you going with the wine? Put the wine on the... Hot. Very hot. Not spicy. Temperature hot. What do you think of The Zookeeper's Wife, starring Jessica Chastain?
I would have liked to see it more as an animated picture because then the animals would be able to talk and express their feelings, which is something you saw in the other movie we reviewed, The Baby Boss. So that's where they made a mistake, but it was still, I wouldn't say fun because of the subject matter, but
Reminded me of the Steven Spielberg movie.
Schindler's List.
No, Jurassic Park.
Because of the animals, but this was more serious, you know. I just think if you had animated animals, then they could give their perspective on what was going on in history at that time. Yeah.
All right, let's...
So 5 bags of popcorn and 5 bags of animal feed.
All right, let's get to the real stuff here.
Which popcorn, one thing, popcorn could be animal feed. Or corn.
Okay, we promised this, and everyone's excited about it.
Yeah, I have this Road to Hollywood. We're going to queue it up right now.
No, we're going
It's,
to preempt that because we're going to be announcing the finalists for the skin donor situation for my face. So, as you guys know, we had Mark Proch, Joe Estevez, John
Just pick
Aprea.
one.
Mark Proch and John Aprea and Joe Estevez, as well as our 2 finalists, Axiom and Manuel. You want to come out here? Just step into the light. Congratulations on making it to the final round. Whew, this is intense. I know for sure that if it was me and if the roles were reversed, I'd be first in line to help you bros out. Because I always have your back and you always have mine.
Yes, of course. It's always been like that. It's always been like that, and it's always going to be like that.
But there can only be one donor. I can only pick one. And it's probably the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I'll start with you, Axiom. You've been there for me from the beginning. Basically, my little brother in life, also now officially my brother-in-law. And I know that was painful for you and continues to be so. But you are so strong and you have such a good heart and you have such a good attitude and you're an awesome rocks guitar player and you've adapted to DKR. You know, you designed some of the best beats I've ever heard. You've shifted and I've seen it. And it's been the most beautiful evolution I've ever seen. By the way, if you have any Italian dishes you want to add to this menu, I'm looking for new items.
Yes.
Manuel, you're a bit newer in my life, okay? So we're still trying to figure each other out. I know you're kind of like, who is this guy?
Elizabeth.
but I know you. You're a good man, like Dekkar would say. How are you supposed to do this? That's the way to do it. There can only be one. Axiom, will you please step forward? Now, nothing would give me more pleasure, more joy, than to honorably wear your skin on my face.
Would be an honor.
Unfortunately, we are not a match. Therefore, Manuel, it will be you. You'll be donating your skin to my face. Okay? You all right with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, better luck next time, huh?
Thank you so much. Thank you for the consideration.
Thank you. Whew. Okay. Take a sit here, man. You're with me now. We're together now. We're together now. All right. You want some wine? You should
Yes.
celebrate.
Yes, I would love some wine.
Mark, we get a glass of wine?
Manuel, what can I get you?
Just some wine. Thanks. We'll be back next week with a new everything. Thanks. With the red. Get him the red, glass of red.
Okay.
So we need to get you checked in tonight. So no fat. You gotta fast. No eating. We'll have the glass of wine. That'll be it. Where's the wine? Roll camera! This is a great movie. You're not gonna regret it.
Time to get serious about movies.
It's your front row seat to Hollywood's best movies here on Cinema at the Cinema. Hi everybody, I am not the Phantom of the Opera. I'm actually Tim Heidecker here, and successfully returned from my skin graft operation, and been wearing this mask now. It's a self-lubricating mask, which is preventing infection since the operation. And I talked to my doctors. They said it's gone very well, but and on today's show, at the end of today's show, I've decided that I will be revealing my face to you guys for the very first time, and to my wife and some other people that are here.
And what's the name of the show?
This is On Cinema at the Cinema,
Thank
starring
you.
Tim Heidecker, and with my guest is Greg Turkington.
Hey guys, I'm not wearing a mask today. I'm here to present opinions about movies that are completely honest and true.
Well, I'm not trying to hide anything, but the doctor said I can reveal it today, so I thought it'd be fun for us all to experience this together at the end of the show. And we'll have some special guests here to appreciate my new face, thanks to courtesy of Manuel.
And we're debuting my new segment, Road to Hollywood,
Yep.
which we'll be seeing later on in the episode as well.
And by the way, now that the face is back, and you'll see, hopefully, cross my fingers, that it's a successful transplant, we'll be back into production on Dekkar, which we've been waiting for to get my face fixed. So,
What are we using for scripts?
well, we have to get some scripts together, and we'll be starting tomorrow, if we can, start shooting Dekkar tomorrow. So we've got to get
Shooting tomorrow?
Yes, sir. The crew's been on hold, and Joe's on hold. Dekkar is back. Jack's back.
But what are we shooting?
Well, that's for us to work on tonight.
Okay.
Great, and if you're interested in the music of Dekkar, check out coming up in, I think it's about 3 weeks, we'll put the schedule up for the Electric Sun Desert Music Festival. It's a festival that I'm sort of the first festival that I've put together myself, and that's in Apple Valley, so you can join us there in
By
a couple
Victorville.
weeks.
That's
Not
just down the road from Victorville.
It's the Electric Sun Desert Music Festival, featuring 250 top EDM festival music style DJs, and we have a comedy tent. And
Should do a movie tent, and I can help program it since we already have.
there's
uh,
no
movie
movies.
fans,
Movies don't work well for festivals.
But there's
because
an
of the
audience
outdoor-
there that's looking for a place to see movies now. And even
No,
if
they're
it's just
looking
for
to
the
get
after-
high and dance to music.
You could
so.
start the movies in the morning and then you turn it into the music at night or whatever. as
All
long
right.
as
Well,
you
we got a
have
lot
the
to
chance.
get through, so let's get into the movies. I don't have a menu.
Oh,
You know what? I don't want any food today. I've been on a liquid diet. I can't eat with this stupid mask on.
do you want a smoothie?
No, I don't want anything.
Okay.
Take a break.
Greg, what can I get
I
you,
don't,
buddy?
I don't want any of it.
Can you remove his popcorn, please?
I
No.
don't want it.
Remove his popcorn. I warned you on that.
Well, if you're not having
You want
any
to talk
food,
movies or not? Smurfs, The Lost Village, directed by Kelly Asbury with Joe Mantelangelo, Rainn Wilson, Mandy Patinkin, Demi Lovato. A mysterious map sets Smurfette and her friends Brainy, Clumsy, and Hefty on a race through the forbidden forest, leading to the discovery of the biggest secret in Smurfs history. By the way, this guy's back, my hand, they've also was able to get enough skin out of the situation to fix this hand perfectly back to normal. This, they're sort of saying, has been so damaged by the fire, down to the core bone structure of the hand, that it's basically a useless. There's no point in fixing this hand. So that hand's, forget about that hand. We don't need that hand. Smurfs, The Lost Village. There you go. 5 bags for me. I love the Smurfs. And this was the best movie about Smurfs there's been. So better than the original. And we're psyched to be a part of the Smurf revolution. 5 bags of popcorn for Smurfs.
I would not say it's better than the original Smurfs movie because the original Smurfs movie featured the voice of Jonathan Winters from It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. I would still say it's a Smurf world with this movie because it's a lot of fun with the new voice of Papa Smurf.
All right. Anyways.
So I'm going to give it 5 blue bags of popcorn, or 5 bags of blue popcorn. I guess the bag should be blue, not the corn itself, for the Smurfs.
The Case for Christ, directed by John Gunn, just with actors Mike Vogel, Faye Dunaway, Erica Christensen, that's a coincidence. Based on a true story of an award-winning journalist and self-avowed atheist who applied his skills to disproving his wife's Christian faith, only to have unexpected and life-altering results. This is The Case for Christ, a movie about believing in Jesus Christ, who I do, as well, and this is a great example of a movie that I would see again and again. 5 bags of popcorn.
I thought it was interesting. When I see a movie that starts with the word case, I think of a Sherlock Holmes or that type of a movie, and this was something very different. It's a spiritual movie, it's a somber movie. It's not really my kind of movie. It's more a religious film than a movie. It would never be a popcorn classic, but I think it's still an interesting thing when you're actually sitting there in the theater and you got your popcorn and it's a nice day. It's actually quite enjoyable to watch. So I'm going to go ahead and give it the 5 bags with some reservations. It's not Sherlock Holmes, but it is something, and you should see it.
Well, speaking of resurrections, Jesus Christ, of course, was resurrected from the dead.
Not in the movie.
No, but I'm saying the parable of that story with him rising from the dead is where we're at with the show right now, because I'm about to take my mask off.
Before we do the big reveal, I wanted to introduce a new segment that you said I could introduce, The Road to Hollywood. And this is a segment where we sort of trace the steps that the great stars stood in as they made their way to Hollywood and their stellar careers. And whether it's Henry Fonda or...
They get it. Just roll the segment. Here we go.
Clark Gable was born in Ohio in 1901 and eventually made his way to Hollywood, California, where he made Gone with the Wind and The Misfits and a lot of other movies before dying here in 1960. As you can see, we're getting close to the Hollywood Boulevard exit, just as Clark Gable did when he was on the road to Hollywood.
Hey, listen, little tip, next time roll the windows up if you're gonna shoot in a car. It sounds like
Next
shit.
time, don't wear a mask over your ears if you're trying to watch a segment.
You can hear just fine right here, see? Ears are fine. All right,
Whatever, but
now
there's
we go.
nothing wrong with the sound. And you're not an expert in sound anyway.
Well, ask the million people that download DKR.
Yeah, I will ask them, and they'll say, yeah, I did download that, and then I deleted it immediately afterwards, 2 minutes later.
All right, would I like to bring out Juliana, my wife?
Do you need me for this segment?
No, but I think you want to see what I look like now. You want to see what
We'll see it next week.
Come on out, sweetheart. Are you ready for this?
Ready.
Yeah, she is very excited. She's had to deal with all the scab, all the pus and the blood and all that stuff, and it was pretty nasty and stinky. I know I haven't been around. I've been traveling the globes, making people's lives better through my music. And you've been keeping the apartment clean and everything, and we appreciate that. And you took care of that other problem. I know that was a hard decision to make. And let's bring out the star, Manuel, who would not be here without him and his support and his donation. How you feeling? Tell us a little bit about the procedure.
Well, it was a little painful, but it was worth it for a brother.
And where did they take the skin from? Can you reveal that?
My lower back, my ass, basically.
Okay. Anyways, and Mark, you want to join us for this, or are you just sitting there looking at me like a weirdo? Just want to be a part of this experience? See?
Oh. Okay.
Here we go. I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm very nervous. Here we go. You like that?
Looks good.
Can I see a mirror, Mark? I get sore. It just feels sore.
This is it. We don't have a mirror back there.
I'm really happy. It's me again. Thank you guys. Let's cut the show. Let's cut it. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you so much. Roll camera! This is a great movie. You're not going to regret it.
Time to get serious about movies.
It's your front row seat to Hollywood's best movies here on Cinema at the Cinema. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of On Cinema. I'm your host, Tim Heidecker. And this is a show called Tim Heidecker's On Cinema at the Cinema, where we talk about new movies coming your way. And I'm joined by my guest, Greg Turkington, who's joining me. And we've been...
Hey guys, here once again to give you the rundown, the latest scoop and information on the new movies that are out this weekend, and there are two of them to talk about today.
And we have been working very hard on Dekkar. We've been shooting Dekkar right now and getting a lot of stuff. And
It's coming along great.
I'm having a good time with that. We're not getting a lot of rest because we've been prepping for the Electric Sun Desert Music Festival coming up in a couple this coming week. Actually, it's sneaking up on us. And I got an awesome plan. And I've got just an awesome opportunity for everybody that's coming because basically me and the good doctor, San, and I have developed this very special blend of what I'm calling the TCH vape system in honor of my dearly departed. And we're going to be giving away as much as we can this weekend. So if you come to the music festival, you'll be getting a free TCH vape system kit. It sets you up with the beautiful machine here and the preloaded, and USB cable. And stick around. We got Dr. Sand coming, who's going to talk all about this. He's going to be at the festival doing lectures on proper usage of the vape system, the TCH vape system. And what else? We get some
Popcorn classic.
Yes, we'll do a popcorn classic, but I do want to get some to eat. We're retooling the menu, and we've got a little Spanish flair today. Been getting some cool advice from you guys online. Tapas. Could do tapas. Let me try the paella. I haven't tried that yet. And let me get a glass of champagne if we got anything good back there, because we're celebrating.
What would you like?
I want you to go away so that we can talk about movies. Just get out of here.
All right, let's see what we got today. Oh, yes, Fast and Furious 8, The Fate of the Furious, directed by F. Gary Gray.
Who directed all the others. So he's back in the saddle again.
Acted by Vin Diesel, Dwayne Johnson, Charlize Theron. When a mysterious woman seduces Don into a life of crime and betrayal against those closest to him, the crew faces that will test them like never before. So this is the classic case of the Fast and Furious, and I love this movie. I thought it was missing the great Paul Driver. I thought, he really held that series together. Of course, we lost him a few years ago. So we would have wished him back, and I think these days with digital animation and cartoons and stuff, they could have put him in there easily. So I don't know why they didn't. That was disrespectful. They should have had him in like we had Tom Cruise Jr. On the Oscar special. And that was my only note. And they could have gotten his son to do the voice, vice versa kind of thing. If he has a son, I don't know if he does.
But sometimes it's just time for an actor to move on, not necessarily to die, but to move on. For instance, you had Sean Connery, who was fantastic as James Bond, but then when Roger Moore came, that ushered in a new chapter that people enjoyed even more. And I like to look at it that way with the Fast and Furious franchise, which now, incidentally, is going to be in the Guinness Book for the highest number reached in a sequel. Now, of course, Bond has had more movies, but they didn't have numbers in the titles like this one did. But just in terms of movies that end with numbers, this is now the furthest any of them have ever gone, beating out Police Academy 7.
All right. Very well. What's that?
It's the paella.
Paella?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't eat shellfish.
Why'd you put it on your menu then? Just take the whole thing away so we can review some
the rest of
movies.
it is
Just take
fine.
it away and bring him a cheeseburger. Oh.
Leave the wine.
You just made popcorn, then it's so easy. You just scoop it up into a cup and bring it out. Or
That's
get
not-
it
I
yourself,
got-
self-service. You don't need to have him
Mark.
bringing it.
Mark, no good. This is corked. You had to smell the wine before you bring it out.
What do you smell for?
If it smells like shit, it's bad wine. Get rid of it. All right. What was it again? 5 bags?
5 bags of popcorn, because that's the highest rating, and 8
I don't
Hot
want
Wheels.
that. Sorry, I don't want.
vintage
I don't want that.
Hot Wheels.
It's just wine,
I
but
wanted
it's in a
champagne.
different
That's
cup.
red wine.
Don't come back,
All right.
Mark.
The Lost City of Z. James Gray, starring Sierra Miller, Charlie Hunnam, Tom Holland. True life drama that centers on British explorer Colonel Percival Fawcett, who disappeared while searching for a mysterious city in the Amazons in the 20s. This was a Oscar winner for me. It seals the deal for me with Sierra Miller, and one of the great movies of the year. So, City of Lost Z, 5 bags.
Yeah, it's
Reminded
kind
me
of
of these sort of adventure movies. It's the only thing I wanted to add to that.
like an epic adventure, like Treasure of the Sierra Madre or Ben-Hur or something like that. This is a big movie, make no mistake about it, and it is big movies that tend to take home Oscar gold. So you're absolutely correct in your prediction. This will be a big Oscar winner. And I think in our own way, we're all searching for our own lost city of Z, and so it's nice to see a movie where we find it. I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn and maybe a little Zorro mask, because that's the other famous movie that starts with Z,
All right.
is Zorro.
Let's bring out Dr. Sand. Come on out.
Can we do the popcorn classic so I can leave and don't have to be here for Dr. Sand?
No, we want to end on the.
It's just water.
All right. Don't put the water in a wine glass.
Just don't come back, Mark.
It's
Don't-
not my fault, Greg.
Greg, do you mind scooting down?
To this seat?
Mm-hmm.
Damn it. Enjoy sitting in a broken chair.
Sorry about this. We got under new management. So I wanted to talk to you about the TCH vape system that we developed together.
Yes, it's very exciting.
Yeah, we've had some ups and downs with this system in the past.
We have.
And now I think you have dialed it in, and this is just a perfect blend. Tell me a little bit about what's going on here.
Well, this new blend is 100% Ma Huang free, so we got that heart palpitation.
That was the
and
shit that was
stuff out
driving
of
me
it.
nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have this friend who started a farm of Bufo alvarius toads, and so he raises the toads out in the desert.
Right.
And or he milks the venom sacs, and we get a little
What?
bit. So we put a little bit of Bufo alvarius venom in the mix.
Right.
That helps us regulate our brain waves so they are on the same level as like a master meditator, like a monk who's been in a cave for 20 years.
Wow, so it's good for your
Who's
body.
nuts then?
And what does it do to the folks that are in the audience listening to DKR when they're hearing those beats?
I think they're going to really be into it.
I think so too. Well, if you come down to the Electric Sun Desert Music Festival this weekend in Apple Valley, he will be, you're going to be giving lectures and discussing proper usage and demonstrations. And if you come down, if you get there Friday, we're going to giving away, what is it, 100 of these?
Yeah.
First 100 people to arrive get the entire system. You get the THC vape system dispenser, the oil, cleaning kit, and a USB cable. So we're very excited about that. Then there's gonna be great music, great vibes, great food. We're gonna have a 6-bag cinema food truck featuring the sliders and the truffle oil dipping arrangement. And all right, cool. Greg, do you have a popcorn classic for me?
I do. Do we have, you going to give me some time to do it, or are you just going to keep talking about drugs? This week on Popcorn Classics, we've got a true popcorn classic, How to Deal, which stars Mandy Moore and Peter Gallagher, who you might remember from Summer Lovers, which also starred Daryl Hannah. This is a movie about a high school student who's convinced that true love doesn't exist. And I think for anyone who likes good teen movies, this is right up there with Rebel Without a Cause or any of the other movies that teens really related to in their time. You don't have to be a teen, adults like it too. This movie did get 5 bags of popcorn.
That's coming on strong now.
If you're a Peter Gallagher head, you'll enjoy the movie nonetheless, as I did. And it is 101 minutes long. And the website is howtodealmovie.com. So be sure and see it. It's directed by Claire Kilner. That's our popcorn classic for today. Can we roll a Road to Hollywood segment?
Ooh.
Tim, can we roll a
We'll be back
Road to
next
Hollywood?
week. And thanks for watching. We'll come to the Electric Sun Desert Music Festival starting Friday morning at 8 a.m. This is a great movie. You're not going to regret it.
Time to get serious about movies.
It's your front row seat to Hollywood's best movies here on Cinema at the Cinema.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of On Cinema at the Cinema, your source for movie expertise and expert opinions. I'm your host, Greg Turkington. I'm joined here by our special guest, fellow movie buff, Mark Pruksch. Mark, good to see you.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Kind of a somber occasion in some ways. We received word that our former host of the show, Tim Heidecker, is in jail in San Bernardino County. He was involved with something called the Electric Sun Desert Festival over the weekend. I'm sure anyone who watches the news saw that 18 teenagers, young people, died as a result of a vaping product that he was handing out, and he is in jail along with his accomplice, Dr. Luther San, who, if you've seen the show, you're familiar with, and a lot of charges of manslaughter, murder, and that sort of thing. So I don't think we'll be seeing Tim or Dr. San anytime soon. We will try to get the show back on track. I know a lot of people are grieving the deaths in the desert this weekend, but under the circumstances, I feel like the best thing to do would be to keep moving and review some movies, which is what we've been wanting to do all season.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I don't think I'm going to miss him too much because he had me working here for just an honorarium, and he said he would, give me some stock or bonds for this place, and I'll be honest, I don't think I was ever going to see him.
Well, this was never a concept that was going to sell. I mean, he's calling it this gold class, world class cinema experience, but if this is the prototype, the chairs are the most uncomfortable things I've ever sat on. I'd rather sit in coach on a bad airline, and then the screen that he has out here as a demonstration is so small.
He kept talking about John Leonard, but I was the one going to the store, and a lot of that stuff was Stouffer's and Banquet. And then he would make me buy this truffle oil flavoring that I would sprinkle over everything, and that stuff started to go rancid after 2 weeks.
Oh, the batch of popcorn was rancid from the beginning.
Yeah, it smelled like cat
2
piss
weeks
back there in the kitchen. A lot of times I was staying in the theater overnight, because I couldn't get out. He had me working so much, and now I don't even, now that that's burnt down, I got a place in Van Nuys with like 4 or 5 other guys who I cannot understand. I don't know where they're from. And so I'm basically giving up acting for this guy, and for what? To work for nothing and reheat food.
And the thing is, you try to have a gourmet experience and you serve that stuff, you're going to be out of business in a day. And he's telling me he's going to open 43 of these things, and it's not even his idea. There's plenty of theaters like this, but they're not run by an insane person.
You don't get diarrhea every time you watch a movie.
Well, and then people who tune in want to get information on movies. We've sort of been the premier source in the United States and worldwide. And over the last few years, and particularly this season, Tim has just been so interested in his world of drug addiction and arson and all these other problems that he has, that he really hasn't let me do my thing, which is to give the expert opinion. I've checked out. I mean, quite frankly, I gave up on this show several weeks ago, as well as the Dekkar, the other show, because working with him, you're dealing with somebody who's deep into drug addiction and who honestly never knew anything about movies in the first place.
I don't think he watched half of them. And like at the movie theater with the black mold, and I had chest issues from that. He made me go to the bathroom. I couldn't use the bathroom in the theater. I had to go down to either the John's or else the Chevron station, and I had to buy something every time there to be able to use the potty.
I know all about it. Believe me, I never got a penny for this, guys. Anybody that went to the theater knows that the programming was top of the line. And the thing is, I enjoyed doing the movie theater and programming the films and stuff, but I don't enjoy doing all this work and then he comes in wasted on his vapes and just cleans out the cash register of all the money that I've taken in all week. Tim wouldn't upgrade the equipment, wouldn't spend the money on that. The black mold, You know, you can only spray so much Lysol, and then the whole place smells of Lysol. So you need to bring in a professional and get that stuff cleared out, which would mean new carpeting and stuff. And the thing is, we were bringing in enough money, and then he's giving me just shit about the Sully fucking movie because he's out of his mind, vaped out of his fucking mind. I saw Sully the first day it came out, you know, because I talked to you about it later that day and said, this is going to win Oscars. This is a great movie. This is Hanks's best performance since Gump. And then I saw it a second time because I had a sneak preview to it because I have connections from doing what I do, which is sharing movie expertise. And so I went to see it again on actual opening day. So I saw it on the Wednesday before it opened, and then I saw it on the Friday opening day. 2 days later, I'd already seen the movie twice.
I wish you
And then he's online saying I haven't seen Citizen Kane and Sully and all this shit.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only one that has problems with this guy. Just the abuse and the lack of respect for movies and the lack of respect for the segments that I work so hard on.
Right.
But now I think, you know, I think that we can turn the show around now.
I hope
because
so.
I'm sorry, you know, 158 people are in the hospital in Hesperia and Apple Valley because of this festival. Most of those will live. There are 18 that will not. I mean, they're dead, you know, they're dead. So he's going down, and if he were somehow beat the rap on the 18 murder charges, he's got 158 attempted murder as well to try to beat. And Dr. San, I mean, I've been talking about this guy since day one, that he is absolutely a criminal, absolutely has no medical skill.
He tried treating one of my coughs once. He rubbed kerosene all over my chest. And
Kerosene.
Kerosene. I was
Which
like,
is flammable.
What are you doing?
That guy's brain was scrambled years ago. The thing that makes me mad is this show is supposed to be about movies. And that's what we talk about on this show is movies. And, you know, I don't know, you're so busy serving up that slop that you probably didn't notice how little we're able to talk about the movies this season because of all his melodramas and, you know, this stupid ass transplant crap that, you know, turned into some fucking game show that cuts into the, you know, I was trying to get it so that we had 3 movies reviewed each episode, and then also a look back at one of the bygone stars who's not with us. I tried to talk about Fay Wray, who's one of my favorite actresses. If you haven't seen Queen Bee, that's another movie she's in that's fantastic. It's a great segment, but I mean, I get here, I come in, and then before we start filming, people don't see this. It's not on camera. He's like, we're cutting that segment, we're cutting that segment. And, you know, I would get mad about it, but now it's just like, of course you are, you know.
Yeah.
We should cut to, right now, one of these segments that we're talking about. This is called On Cinema On Location. I think you'll like it.
Hollywood, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema On Location.
Hi, it's Greg Turkington with On Cinema at the Cinema. Behind me you can see Paramount Pictures, the filming location of 2001's Vanilla Sky, starring Tom Cruise and Penelope Cruz. This was a popcorn classic from 2001. Back to you, Tim. So that's the segment.
That was great.
And you know, that segment's been one of the most popular things on the show since the beginning, aside from the reviews, the unbiased reviews of new movies. Another thing that really pisses me off was your segment, Golden Age Comedies, which was so popular and such a fun segment where you get to see great current movies, comedies, reviewed by one of the great old comedians, W.C. Fields, who you do a great job.
Thank you.
I mean, any of these old movie characters that you do, you nail because you know the movies. You know Chaplin, you know The Mummy and The Wolfman and all this sort of thing.
Stooges.
And all of them. And that was such a fun segment, and it was a good way to learn about movies and also learn about W.C. Fields. And Tim shit-canned that for no reason.
Yeah.
And that was very popular. In fact, we should just do one now. Fuck him. He's in jail.
Yeah, I would love to. I have my stuff in the car.
Can you roll just one of the, it's just a short On Cinema On Location, and while that's airing, you go get the stuff.
Okay.
Hollywood, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema On Location. Hey guys, This is Paramount Studios, where in 1998, Sean Connery and Meg Ryan shot a popcorn classic called Presidio, or The Presidio. This is the filming location of The Presidio. Back to you, Tim.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your old friend WC with another comedy classic for ya. Today we're talking about Nobody's Baby, starring Gary Oldman and Skeet Ulrich. Comedy ensues when the two ex-cons go on the road, see, and they folly and filly-fally up to the Tapungo Mungo, and they find a baby. Side note, Anthony Quinn's son died in my pond. True story. Check it out.
Great work.
Thank you.
That's a segment we'll be seeing a lot more of, as well as all of our outside segments and 3 movies reviewed per episode, I promise.
Can't wait.
That's what we're going to be doing. And good riddance to Tim and Dr. Sand.
Keep them in jail.
And our prayers are with the 158 hospitalized in Victorville.
Get well soon.
And we'll see you next week with more movie reviews on Cinema at the Cinema. Thank you. That's good. That segment was amazing.
Oh, thanks.
That's what people want.
Tim will never see this, right?
No.
Time to get serious about movies.
Hey guys, welcome to On Cinema at the Cinema, the fun show where we look at the latest movies and the goings-on around Hollywood. We will be visiting premieres and talking to some of the stars and also reviewing the movies using our critical expertise. I'm joined here today by my guest, Mark Pruksch, who has been a guest on the show for many years. We always have a lot of fun, and we always get into kind of lighthearted debates on whether or not a movie was great or just good. Before we get to the movies, I want to bring out our guest. We actually have a special guest today. He's a guy that's also very relieved at the new direction the show has taken now that we've gotten rid of Tim Heidecker, who, as many of you know, is a black cloud sort of sinking the whole production. Here he is, President Davidson on the Dekkar Unclassified show, Joe Estevez.
Gentlemen, hey, good to see you. Good to see you, Mark.
Hey,
good
Joe.
to see you, Greg. Thanks for inviting me. But hey, guys, kind of bittersweet, though. Bittersweet. Poor Tim. You know, I was up in Boise, and coming down, and I was, going to go to the show, but I had time to stop off and see Tim at the Hootskow.
Why?
Look, he feels worse than anybody about that.
Good.
The unfortunate with the 18 people. Nobody feels worse.
I think the families feel worse.
Their families do.
Well, yeah, but he's in there. He's not happy where he's at. But
Good. I bet he's watching more movies in prison than he ever did to review on the show.
Yeah, well, I guess a
lot of time for that.
He's talking. He wants to call into the show. I think he said something about.
How is he going to do that?
Well, they got phone privileges there, and so I think he can call in. But listen. I want to show you. Maybe I can give it to you. So, if Tim ever does come back, you can give him. Now these are all from the great state of. Excuse me.
You should turn it off before you come on.
I should have. I'm very sorry. Could you hold on a moment, please? Okay, let's see here. Okay. Hello? Hello, yes, who's this?
Hey, it's Tim.
Oh, Tim! Oh, we were just talking about you.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
Who's there?
Well, it's Mark, of course, and Greg and myself. We're on screen right now.
Guys.
What?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Tim.
Tim? You doing okay?
Yeah. Just want to say hi and just check in and give my love to the On Cinema family and thank everybody for their kind words. You know, I just feel terrible about everything, and it's been just the craziest couple weeks.
Yeah, well, you know, Tim, listen, we're thinking about you, you know?
Yeah, I miss you guys. What's been you guys doing the show right now?
Yeah, oh yeah, we're live right on camera here. Yes.
Mark, thank you so much for filling in there. And how's everything going there?
It's fine.
He says it's fine. It's fine. I got Greg right here. Say again.
I can hear him.
Okay.
I can hear him. Yeah, you don't have to convey. You're on speaker.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, I just wanted to get some. You know, first of all, I feel terrible about what happened at the festival and all the people that got hurt.
Killed.
And you know, I got to kind of eat crow here a little bit with Greg and say, you know, Doc, you were right about Dr. Sam, and you know, he really put me in a bad spot here. So I want to acknowledge that, and
You brought it upon yourself.
if there can be any good news in this situation is
That you're gone in jail.
I've been talking with my lawyer, who's been talking to the DA, and there is a path for me, provided I do certain things, and which I can't really talk about, but looks like I'll be getting out of here tomorrow on bail.
Terrific.
And so, and also it looks like I'll be able to cut a deal because this is about Dr. San and about the poison that he made, you know. And I think provided everything goes smoothly, this thing's all going to pass over, for me at least.
Tim, listen, I think I'm speaking for all of us to tell you that that's just great news. We're just over the moon to hear that news. We're really happy that you're coming back.
Great, thanks. And I want to thank Greg and I guess Mark, whoever you had. I guess Joe told me you guys did an episode last week. And I want to thank you guys for filling in and keeping the show going. I haven't got a chance to see it yet, but as soon as I get out tomorrow, I'm going to check it out. And what movies are you guys watching this week? Greg?
Yeah.
The Circle, and How to Be a Latin Lover.
What was the review? What was the rating?
We haven't done it yet.
5 bags of popcorn. 5 bags.
Well, listen, I can't wait to see you guys. And thanks again, Joe, for making this happen.
Oh, hey, I'm just tickled to death you're coming back, Tim. Wow. Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye.
Gotta go.
Safe travels. Bye-bye. Well, listen, anyway, I brought you guys some little souvenirs back from Boise. Okay, now, number one, Idaho Spud. Now, listen, that was for Tim, but if you eat that, I won't tell, okay? Okay. Now, here is, you're wondering, you're always looking for that bottle opener. There it is with the Idaho Spuds on it. And didn't forget about you, Idaho with the Spuds on it. And, okay, I really love these, okay? Idaho, on one end, you got, how's that work? You got the flashlight, see that? And the other end, you got the pen. All right. And last but not least, what do you get in Idaho? Potatoes. Potatoes. I got a great story about those potatoes if you got a minute to listen. Okay, see, I actually, because these are Idaho potatoes, but I was coming directly from the set in Boise to here, so I bought the Idaho potatoes at Ralph's before I left, And I was going to leave them in the car because I was getting off the plane directly to the set. And I'd forgotten I took them on the plane. And I'm putting my luggage away, and that stewardess says, okay, now we're going to Boise. If anybody has got a potato in their luggage, I will give the whole row free drinks the rest of the trip. I'm like jumping up like a little schoolgirl and let's make a deal, you know? I got 2 potatoes! I got 2 potatoes! All the planes look at me like I'm some kind of weirdo, you know what I mean? You know, I don't even drink, but I'm going crazy, you know? She said, you do not. I brought them out. She held them up in front of the whole plane. There, I was traveling with Larry Thomas, you know, the guy from the Soup Nazi guy, you know, from Steinfeld. Whole plane went wild. It's crazy. Yeah, so Boise was nice. Boise was nice. Snowed up there. Snowed.
Okay, thanks for tuning in to our...
Roll camera! This is a great movie. You're not going to regret it. It's your front row seat to Hollywood's best movies here on Cinema at the Cinema. Hi, everybody. My name is Tim Heidecker. I'm the host of my show here, Tim Heidecker's On Cinema at the Cinema. It's a show where we review movies, and I'm so glad and happy to be back with you with my friend and my guest, Greg Turkington.
Thanks. Hey, guys.
And I know you're upset. And my lawyer, Doug Lyman, is here. Thank you, Doug, for everything you've been doing. Doug's been kind of keeping me on the straight and narrow, keeping my wings clipped a bit. And, you know, I heard what you guys said about me, and it stung. Because all I ever wanted to do was make this a place where I was the father of a family, the On Cinema family, and it was about movies, and it was about, you know, in the case of this season, it was about great food, and I gave you your chance. But I'm not here to place blame on anybody. I don't know if you've spoken with Mark. Mark, if you're listening or you're watching this, I apologize. And unfortunately, you know, we're going to have to shutter down the operations here temporarily because my focus has to be on what I need to do to make amends. And thank you, Joe, for visiting me. Nobody else bothered. And I'm going to do what's right. And it's going to be really about the 18. You know, the Electric Sun 18.
2 more died.
Well, the Electric Sun 20 then. You know, these kids came out to a music festival to have a good time. And we had a good time, you know. All Saturday morning, all Saturday afternoon, we partied, and Dr. San, the rat, the evil man, bad guy, really let me down, and he let everybody down. He certainly let the 20 down that passed away and their families down because he was irresponsible with his dosage, and that's what it came down to, was dosage. Now, as you'll see, when it becomes public and when you see the affidavit that Doug Lyman and I put together, I was absolutely out of the loop when it came to the contents of the vape ingredients. And I had no clue what was going on there. And so, but I did know, and I will testify to this, and it's in the affidavit, that I can vouch that Dr. San deserves to bear responsibility for this. So he will pay the ultimate price, I believe, and that's justice for the 20, for the Electric Sun 20. And I know that I haven't talked to the families yet, but they are all, you know, they all get that, I think. And we have so much to be proud. We have so many things that we should be proud of. Dekkar, of course, is which we were able to shoot before this incident, and that's coming soon, so we can look forward to that. Anything you want to add, or?
I never believed that Dr. San was anything but a quack.
And we might ask you to testify
I don't want to do that. But.
Well, I think it would be interesting for the jury to hear your thoughts on Luther, and I really want him to pay, because what happened on that day will haunt me forever. It was a horrible day where I was up there, and I had just hit into a new track that Axiom and I had built, and it was called Save Us, ironically, and it was about my marriage to Juliana and how that was falling apart. And I look out in the crowd, and you just start seeing bodies dropping. And the Apple Valley folks should be ashamed of themselves. The EMTs were so late to get in there. We're not, as a festival organizer, I didn't anticipate needing doctors and everything there. But we called and we waited about 40 minutes for anyone to arrive. And so we might even be, Doug and I are talking about even suing Apple Valley. That's really how bad it's getting. So, but on the advice of my counsel, we are here to talk about movies, because I want to demonstrate that I have the capacity and the ability to serve my community in an upstanding and professional manner. And so we believe that this is providing a service, especially having him on, because he knows everything about movies.
Thank you.
And Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with James Gunn, directed by James Gunn, starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Sylvester Stallone, Vin Diesel, Bradley Cooper, set against the backdrop of Awesome Mixtape 2. Okay, continues this team's adventures as they unravel the mystery of Peter Quill's parentage. Well, I did not see this film. That's the truth.
That's okay.
But I loved the first one, and I can only give this one 5 bags of popcorn on good merit and good reputation, and deserves a fair shake at everyone seeing it. It's a Disney movie. It's a superhero Marvel movie. It can't be bad. Go see it. And go see it for Sly Stallone, one of the greats, boxing legend Rocky Balboa, and Rambo too. So a lot of good movies from Rambo.
Lords of Flatbush.
And Cobra. Don't shoot. Don't shoot. Stop or my mom will shoot. That's a good one. Comedy from Sly. Hey, yo, Adrian. Did you get a chance to see that, or?
Yeah, I saw it. It's great. I'll give it 5 bags of popcorn.
I need you to bring the energy up here. We're gonna have big problems.
If you saw the first one, you need to see how the story ends, and I wish they would incorporate more of the Marvel characters from your movie, The Fantastic Four, into that world too, and that's what they should do for Guardians 3, and I know there will be another one because of the success of the first two, and this one is no exception. It's fantastic. 5 bags of popcorn and a little cup of soda.
Well, thank you for bringing up my film, and seems like a million years ago, and better days to better days. The Lovers, starring Aidan Gillen, Deborah Winger from
Urban Cowboy.
And Jessica Sula. A long-married, dispassionate couple are both in the midst of a serious affair, but on the brink of calling it quits, a spark between them suddenly reignites, leading them to an impulsive romance. So there could be hope for us. And my ex-wife. I didn't see this either. So, what do you got?
Yeah, I think if with what's going on for you with Juliana and Ayaka and all that, it wouldn't be something you'd want to watch right now. I would watch Guardians of the Galaxy or something instead of this, because it's could be upsetting. And if you like dramas and things, it's a good one. I'd give it 5 bags of popcorn, but with reservations for anyone going through trauma of divorce.
Good stuff. All right, we got a popcorn classic here from Greg, or it's On Location. Popcorn on location, or On Cinema on Location.
Cinema on Location.
Hollywood, California. Every street has a story, and these are but just a few on Cinema on Location.
Hey guys, Greg Turkington for On Cinema at the Cinema. Behind me you see the filming location for First Monday in October, which was a 1981 popcorn classic starring Jill Clayburgh and Walter Matthau. That behind me is Paramount Pictures Studios, where First Monday in October was famously shot. Back to you, Tim.
All right, thank you guys. And tonight's episode is dedicated to Ned, Lance, Sean, Mark, Eric, Matt, Brett, Chris, Tyler, another Chris, Mike, Anthony, Nick, Billy, John, a lot of guys, mostly guys, Abigail, and Valerie, and Paul. And they're the Electric Sun 20. Oh, but we don't have the new guys. Who died? Do you know the name? Carl was Adina, and Jenna. Oh, so there are more women. And I hope everyone gets better, the folks that are still in the hospital. I'm praying for you. See you next week. If you talk to Mark, tell him I owe him $600.
I don't know where he is.
Let him know it's safe to come home. I'm not in a position to seek vengeance.
Okay, I'll tell him.
I couldn't. If I wanted to, I couldn't. And I do.
Roll camera! This is a great movie. You're not going to regret it. It's your front row seat to Hollywood's best movies here on Cinema at the Cinema.
Hey everybody, this is Tim Heidecker. I'm the host of Tim Heidecker's On Cinema at the Cinema. Welcome to another episode where we review movies. I'm joined by my guest, Greg Turkington.
Hey guys, glad to be here.
And I want to get this out of the way quickly. Lots of moving parts right now. We found out yesterday that Dr. San, I don't even want to call him Dr. Luther San, took the coward's route and hung himself in his cell. Friday morning around 4:30 a.m. And Doug Lyman, my attorney, is now telling me that the DA's office is now refocusing their attention on me, and they want to, the families, of course, are seeking some kind of justice for the deaths of the kids, and now I'm suddenly back under the spotlight. And I'm supposed to go in there potentially tomorrow to turn myself in, and there'll be new charges attached. And, this is obviously bad news for us. We'll beat this. I mean, we feel like we have a case just because that rat piece of shit thinks he can get out of this by stringing himself up. Okay? It doesn't absolve him.
No.
That's what Doug said to me. It doesn't absolve him of this. Okay? The potions, the poison that he put in those vape pens that those kids sucked down and put them out, first of all, it's on him and it's on Apple Valley. It's on the Apple Valley EMT folks who are asleep at the wheel. All I did was play some music. Made a lot of people happy. We had 6,000 kids there. Only a small group, small portion of that, 20, what's the percentage of people, 20 into 6,000, whatever it is.
1%.
It's nothing. That doesn't mean to say that the 20 that passed are nothing, but obviously I was in the right. I provided a safe, fun, ecstatic environment. And it's ridiculous to think that I'm supposed to take responsibility for any of this, especially when it comes to jail and all that shit. And I'm going to fight this to the end. So I know you guys will be there for me. I've had worse come at me, and just like Rambo from last week, we take them down one by one, and that's because I got you guys out there supporting me every step of the way, and my brother back here hanging in there tight, being there no matter what. And Axiom and Manuel and everybody.
Joe Estevez.
Joe has been great, and if Mark ever shows his head, I know he's got my back too. So.
And we can get to the movies.
Yes, the movies. Let's see. I did see these. King Arthur. Remember King Arthur? Legend of the Sword. Directed by Guy Ritchie. Starring Charlie Hunnam, Jude Law, Annabelle Wallis, and Eric Bana. A live-action feature adaptation of the classic King Arthur story. It's not much more to it. This is the sword and the stone, the Merlin and the castle and the kings and the knights of armor and all that crap. And this is the definitive version of that story, in my opinion.
It's certainly got more details than some of the other
didn't
King
give
Arthur
a review.
movies.
I want to give this 5 bags of popcorn. See this movie. King Arthur is one of those guys you look up to when you're a kid, and also it is the Legend of the Sword. So.
And one of my all-time favorite characters in motion pictures isn't a person.
And it's 5 bags of popcorn. Sorry, 5 bags. Now the floor is
and
yours.
one of my favorite all-time characters in motion pictures isn't a person or an animal or a gnome or even a hobbit. It's a sword called Excalibur. And if you're an Excalibur head, this movie has got quite a number of scenes with the legendary sword. And that's what makes it such a thrilling movie. And I don't think the story has ever been told in so much detail and with so much high quality CGI as it is in this one. There will be Oscars for this. It may not win every Oscar, but it's certainly going to take the lion's share. I will give it an unreserved 5 bags of popcorn, and I'm going to throw in a little replica of Excalibur's sword.
Very generous.
I mean, that's the accurate rating. It's not generous at all.
I mean, I just think give it 6. 6 bags.
The scale only goes to 5, but we do have room for additional items.
All right. Big endorsement for King Arthur. Next up, we have Snatched. Snatched, directed by Jonathan Levin, acted by Amy Schumer, Goldie Hawn, Ike Barinholtz, Wyke Skites, Wanda Skype. Emily, recently a dumped adventurous 30-something, convinces her cautious mom to join her on a trip to Ecuador. As they seek adventure, they become kidnapped, and their bond is strengthened as the 2 very different women escape the jungle. Snatched. It was a comedy starring Goldie Hawn. And it's about time. I'm glad to see Goldie's back. You know, you had movies like Saving Private Benjamin and other movies with Goldie Hawn in them.
There's a Girl in My Soup with Peter Sellers.
And this is a classic Snatched movie. These girls get kidnapped, and I thought it was very funny, laughed a lot. Would have liked a male lead, I think. For comedy, I want men more so. Somebody like Tom Hanks or...
But you can't have a Hanks without a Ryan, Meg Ryan. So
I think that it would have been interesting if the filmmakers had added a man to the lead instead of Goldie, or instead of the Amy Schumer.
There were definitely men in the movie.
Well, there were, but I'm saying instead of it being two women making a man and a woman, you could have put Mike Myers, Chevy Chase, Billy Crystal, Tom Hanks, Tom Cruise.
But imagine Thelma and Louise with Tom Hanks and Tom Cruise. It's not the same movie. Sometimes the script dictates that you do cast women in the lead roles, and that's what they did here.
Well,
and I think this is the Thelma and Louise for this generation, and I'm going to give it 5 bags of popcorn.
Well, I gave, if I recall, I gave Thelma and Louise 3 bags of popcorn, so I will give this 4 bags of popcorn. Not really one of my favorite movies. Very, very funny, very well made. But next time, don't be so selfish. The feminists out there, they want to make everything about them. So let's keep it about the men. Let's keep men focused. Let's even if you counter programmed it with somebody like Sly Stallone, who's so good in Galaxy. You know, put him in there and put a wig on him and make him play a woman.
Well, you should watch Tootsie and
I love Tootsie.
That kind of a thing. And sometimes, you know, sometimes when the writers write these things, they have somebody in mind. You know, it's
what
the
happens
same reason you wouldn't have you know, Joe Pesci playing Martin Luther King. Sometimes it just doesn't work.
Well, what happens is I think these executives, they get a little nervous because the women's feminist groups are going to come in and put everybody in jail, when in fact the men are the one that get oppressed in this situation, and you don't have the
Everybody
opportunities.
loves movies, women, men,
yes,
and
but
every other group under the sun.
That's why you have Goldie Hawn on Goldie Hawn, as a pun on Golden Pond, and you have something like, I want to put in Ted Danson or one of those kind of good-looking leading men to play the Amy Schumer part and keep Goldie Hawn on Golden Pond.
All right, but I mean, would you like to see then, if you're going to start tampering with this movie or tampering with Thelma and Louise, why don't we say Katharine Hepburn stars Marlon Brando's role in The Godfather, and that's a mess, you know? So you got to look at the script. The script dictates the casting, not some ideas that you've read on the internet.
I give you credit. I apologize. I'm just worn out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not sleeping, and I'm thinking about. I keep picturing, you know, Sand swinging in this.
Sand's been in my nightmares for years, so there's no change there.
I just picture him, that wispy old beard, swaying in the window of the jail cell. That poor guard who had to, another guard too, Luis, he had to come in and open that door to see that dead corpse swinging. And then I have dreams. I have dreams about my future and me being in that cell, and the ghost of Sand swinging in the wind. But speaking of Dr. Sand, I want to, as much as he is our mortal enemy, as much as I'm so glad he's dead, although it complicates my life because him alive is much more valuable, as the state can pin the charges on him.
I bet they can. And they have other charges they could pin on him too if they start investigating further.
You can't put a dead man in the electric chair, right, Doug? So,
but if you could, that would be the one that I would try to put in it.
Can I just end on this? I want to, as much as he's been a thorn in our side, and he is a bad guy,
a dirty thorn, a dirty acupuncture thorn, and not just in your side, all over your face and in your arms and everywhere else, an infected, dirty acupuncture thorn.
As much as we hate Dr. Sand, and we hate him, and he's a bad guy, there's good people and there are bad people, and Dr. Sand was, in a way, both. You can't deny it. He's a part of the On Cinema family, and I think what I want to do tonight is just honor him with this tribute. So,
tribute?
Watch the tribute.
Why did you, who put this together?
I remember the times they were good, and the hardest goodbye that left me barely speaking. Inside I still wanna believe, so I'm running back to you. I remember the times they were good, and the hardest goodbye that left me barely speaking. Inside I still wanna believe, so I'm running back to you. I wanna believe.
All right, well, that was very beautiful, and It really does. It does remind me of all the good times we had. We had some good times. He made some big, big, big bad choices for sure, but I'll always love him, warts and all. And
What? I'm not paying tribute to him. If you want to do
just
that,
say
that's
a couple
fine.
words. Just acknowledge him.
And he made people sick. He made people die, and I always wondered if he ever even had any medical training.
All right, Doug's
I don't
telling
think
me
he
we got to
did.
wrap this up because I have to do a lot of prep for our hearing tomorrow. Thanks for a great season, everybody. And if anybody's interested in the six bag cinema concept, send me a note and maybe we can work out some kind of deal where I pass along the conceptual copyrights to you guys. And wish me luck.
Good luck.
And I'm counting on the Cinema family to stand with me throughout this long trial. All right, well, see you guys at the movies. All right.
Good luck tomorrow.
By the way, I'm never gonna forget what the fuck you said to me on this show. You hear me? Even that stunt Mark played. No matter what happens to me, I'll always remember the shit you said.
Fine, dine, recline, and hope you have a good time. Yeah, it's Six Pack Cinema time. Six Pack Cinema, Six Pack Cinema time.